sour mango ring. And no bite ever has to be the same because you can mix and match it.
Shaq speaking to Bloomberg recently about the new treats. And it's not the first time he's rolled out a candy with Hershey. He already had a line with them called Shaqalicious XL Gummies.
You know, for me, this is not about money. It's just about, you know, having a relationship, doing something that's different, doing something that's fun. And, you know, I've been, you know, lucky enough to, you know, still be able to, you know, have these type of relationships.
Shaq has several long-standing relationships with companies, with brands like Reebok, Icy Hot, Papa John's, and others working with him for the long haul. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. That shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping. Like a heartbeat's call, he's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Thursday, January 15th, 2026. I don't know what you want me to do. Doing everything I can as it is. I don't think the black people need to be just general protest labor. Well, what you want me to do? I think it's terrible that they're going after the people that are not supposed to be in the country, whatever, the illegal immigrants. It's not very nice. I think the policy is very punitive. These ICE agents they're very murdery. They're doing a lot of killing. But like, what do you want? I'm real serious now. What do you want black folks to do? Because we have a whole bunch of issues, in my opinion, that are still worthy of protest every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like a Ferris wheel that doesn't stop. So are we supposed to divert ourselves for our continued fights for justice and for civil rights? Remember, we lost diversity, equity, and inclusion. Affirmative action, which was a policy that attempted to make good on past racial transgressions, that's not unconstitutional at the federal level. The Wisconsin Republican legislature is going to have a ballot referendum on our ballots here in Wisconsin, making affirmative action unconstitutional at the state level. So as black folks, what are we supposed to do when it comes to the immigration stuff? Now, look, we don't like heavy-handed law enforcement. We don't, because they've been very mean to us. They've done awful things to us. In fact, we can go ahead and trace some of modern law enforcement back to slave patrols. I give you a whole history of that if you want to. But at the same time, are we supposed to interject ourselves into this movement? Now, typically, if I'm speaking from the perspective of just an American, because people's rights are being violated, constitutional rights are being violated, people are being picked up and swept up and disappeared and shot in the face like Renee Good, those are all very, very bad things. But knowing the history that African Americans have with the police, why do we want to inject ourselves in this? Because we'll get shot too. Now, I don't want to sound cold and I don't want to sound harsh, but really, what the hell you expect us to do? There's a political angle as well. I don't like what's happening in the country, but I also didn't vote for it. Somebody else did. Now, I'm not pointing any fingers, because right now all the fingers are pointing at us because the president of the United States, well, he is who he is. And we got a chance to know him in 2015 and 2016, and through hook or crook, he got elected again. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I did everything I could, try and get y'all to vote for the black lady, but y'all ain't like the black lady. Okay, cool. Nobody read Project 2025. I know I ain't read it. Well, I read as much as most of you did. I read some of it on the air. I had some highlights, and I read those on the air, but that didn't do no damn good. That wasn't enough of a deterrent. So what we're dealing with now are the consequences of a decision that was made. The decision was made to reelect Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing. We don't like some of these consequences, now do we? But what you want me to do about it? I didn't vote for him and told all you not to vote for him. So are we as black people supposed to interject ourselves into this fight, knowing that we still got work to do? And it's not a lot of people that help us. It's not. It's a few people. But we need all the help that we can get. So what are we supposed to do? Now, I got a curiosity, because you know I have an inquisitive temperament. Basically, I'm nosy. If you go to YouTube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, I feel like my voice is getting worse. This madness has to stop.
So sorry. It's getting a little worse. I'm sorry. Some tea, more tea.
I thought this morning, because I do my ABCs to test my voice, this morning I did my ABCs beautifully. Now,
ABC.
What day is today? Today Friday. Damn, it's not even Friday yet. I don't know what you want me to do, Rhea. Well, here's what I got a question though for the people, because I want to know, because a lot of people, I actually don't know who listens to the show. Is it black people? Is it white people? Do I have Asians?
Got them all.
Do I have Latinos and Hispanic? Well, there's one. That one guy is his screen name on YouTube. I think he's a Mexican. He called in yesterday and got mad at me because he likes to go out dancing, and I said that when men go out dancing, it's gay, so then he got mad at me, but whatever. All I got to say is if he's Mexican, he better be careful. Black folks have a lot to worry about. One thing I don't have to worry about is getting swept up by ICE. I mean, they're getting a few blacks, not a lot, though. Like, if I see an ICE caravan and I see them jump out, I just keep walking. I'm like, oh, somebody's going to have a bad day. Not me. I just don't know what y'all want us to do. I'm going to reveal an issue that is happening quietly in the black community that is killing us, and it's not even raising any kind of alarms, pun intended. And I want to dig into that because we still have things as African-American people that we still need to rectify, that we are still dealing with? So are we supposed to stop our movements to help people that are experiencing, I'm going to call it turmoil, but it was through a decision that the majority of us black people didn't make? Elections have consequences, and I know that's a cliche, but I have to continue to say it because I think there was some prevailing wisdom somewhere that, oh, Trump wouldn't go that far. He did. I can liken this to a relationship because clearly you guys can relate to my relationship conversations. And shout out to Denise Thomas yesterday. My goodness. You might involve yourself with someone who's got some personality quirks or traits that you don't care for. But there's other things about this person you're dating that you love very much. Maybe they're very attractive. Maybe they're very smart. Maybe they're a good businessman. Yes, they have 34 felonies. Yes, they might appear in the Epstein files. But boy, oh boy, do they know business. And they sure do have a lot of money. So what you do is you may overlook some of those red flags and enter into this relationship, this marriage, this contract with them anyway, knowing that the red flags are there. And then when the red flags appear and the green flags become much more diminished, what do you want somebody to do? You made the decision. I can honestly say that the overwhelming majority of my people did not make the decision to put us in the situation we are in right here. Now, here's the other part. It's hard for me to stand idle. I'm going to take a break in a little bit. When I come back, I'm going to tell you about a little bit of progress. It's a little bit of progress. You know how you get mad when law enforcement shoots and kills somebody? We get very angry. We say stuff like, well, if they were fleeing, shoot out the tires. Well, if they're trying to stop this suspect from harming somebody, you don't have to kill them. Don't we always say that when a cop shoots to kill, we get real mad? We say stuff like, shoot him in the elbow, shoot him in the butt cheek. You don't got to kill him. We say that every single time there's an officer involved killing, because it's a simple way in which we believe policing could have saved somebody's life. Well, Sherwin, they didn't have to shoot him in his face. They could have shot off his pinky toe. I swear to you, every single time there's an officer involved killing, somebody's response, their Monday morning quarterbacking is, well, they should have shot him in the left nut. They didn't have to murder him like that. Well, guess what? An ICE officer shot a man in the leg yesterday. So that's progress. He didn't kill him, right? He shot him in the leg just like you guys want him to. So I'm going to consider that progress. Because I don't know what you want us to do. I mean, I think it's sad. It's terribly unfortunate. There's other unfortunate things going on, too. Apparently, trans boys can't play. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get it right. Trans girls can't play in girls' sports. That happened. That sucks for somebody. But it's good for the opposing team. Because if you have, let's say I was trans. Bad example. Let's say Giannis came out and was like, hello, everybody. I like to be trans now. And what if he's trans? What if deep down inside, Giannis feels like a woman? We don't know. You don't know what he feels like. I know y'all booed him the other night. Don't do that. They booed Giannis, Rhea. That's so disrespectful. I can't stand when hometown fans boo their star player. Because when Giannis decides he wants to leave, then y'all going to be the ones crying. But let's say Giannis was trans and he decided he wanted to play for the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team. Well, because of the Trump rule, he can't do that anymore. But if you're a team that would play the Las Vegas Aces, like, you're happy. Because Giannis, as a woman, would score 137 points a game. Now, look, I'm not trying to get into the whole trans thing, but that's just something else that's unfortunate because there were trans girls playing on girls' teams and trans boys playing on boys' teams, and the Trump administration made that rule. I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's terribly unfortunate if you're a trans person and an athlete. But we're not responsible for this. And I refuse to take responsibility because as black people, we can't. We're trying to take responsibility for our own mess. So how much protest labor do you want us as black people to add to what is going on with immigration and customs enforcement? So there was a shooting in Minneapolis yesterday where a Venezuelan illegal person got shot in the leg. I see that as progress. Now, it's still unfortunate, but the ICE agent didn't kill him. I put a poll up in the YouTube, or actually Rhea did. Would you join an ICE protest? I'm curious. So if you have, because we've had a bunch, and I'm going to call those no kings protests. I think those are ICE protests too. I mean, they were partially no kings because we don't like Donald Trump being a king. But if you knew there was an anti-ICE protest, like get ICE out of our cities and we stand with the people in, I don't know, Minneapolis or Chicago. If we had one in Milwaukee, would you go to it? I was enjoying a beverage on the patio of a place called Taylor's over the summer. Might have been the summer of 2024. And a big old protest was at Cathedral Square. Did I join it? No, I couldn't join. I was enjoying my drink. I'm not going to leave a full drink to join a protest. That's alcohol abuse. That's ridiculous. But I did not join that protest. I don't want to say it's not my issue because I think it's an American issue. And, of course, if it can happen to one group, it can happen to somebody else. But I am not going to lend my labor to a cause that I was not involved nor complicit in creating. And maybe that's me copping out. Maybe it is. But I'm curious, those of you that listen to this program or those of you that watch it on YouTube, would you join an ICE protest? Sherwin Hughes would not. Let me tell you why. Because I don't know what can happen. They do shoot people. They shoot protesters. Because as far as the administration is concerned, the dissenters are just as bad as the people that are illegal. I'm not putting myself out there. I don't want to get pepper sprayed. It hurts. I'm over here with pepper spray on my face, and Sherwin, somebody asked Sherwin, Sherwin, what happened? I was out there protesting ICE, and I got pepper sprayed. And then the person would say, Sherwin, aren't you a citizen? Yep. So why aren't you protesting for other causes that more directly impact your community? I don't know. I was bored. That'll never be me. I'm not putting myself in harm's way to protest a situation while it is unfortunate and it's terrible. It's unconstitutional. It's un-American. It's all those things. But I can't do it. We'll take a break, come back, talk about the individual who was shot in the leg in Minneapolis. But then also, there's something that is quietly killing African Americans all over the country, and we hear nary a whimper. So I'm going to talk about that, and maybe we can shift our focus. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers look to make it 2 wins in a row as they welcome the Oakland University Grizzlies to the UWM Panther Arena.
White on a drive and a pass back to the wing. Dixon darts, kicks, Franklin for 3. Yes! Dixon step back. 3 ball is good. Josh Dixon.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock. Truth Nation, it's time once again to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community at the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards, happening Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 inside the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. This award show will honor the unsung heroes who show up, give back, and make a positive impact in our community every single day. We're rolling out the red carpet and showing love to those who truly deserve it. Buy your tickets now by visiting 1017thetruthAwards.com. Tickets are just $20, which includes free food and exclusive Truth giveaways. Join the 1017 The Truth team for an unforgettable night of entertainment, inspiration, and community pride at the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 in Milwaukee. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Milwaukee College Prep, Cousins Subs, Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and the Milwaukee Bucks. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
current Lieutenant Governor, Sarah Rodriguez, but I bet a lot of you did not know that Sarah Rodriguez was the current Lieutenant Governor. She was elected in 2022 because, if you recall, Mandela Barnes tried his hat at being a U.S. Senator. So Mandela Barnes resigned his position as Lieutenant Governor so Mandela Barnes, could run against Ron Johnson for the U.S. Senate. And as you all know, Mandela Barnes lost to Ron Johnson, so we had to get a new Lieutenant Governor, and Sarah Rodriguez is her name. So she is trying to differentiate herself from the very crowded Democratic field of candidates who are looking to be the Democratic nominee to replace Tony Evers, who opted not to run for a third term. So something that she said fairly recently, it was relating to, if I'm going to paraphrase here because I'm not really following her political talking points. She would want to ban immigration and customs enforcement from either the state of Wisconsin, state government buildings, public buildings. So it's a statement that would make a lot of sense if you were against the way immigration and customs enforcement is being executed, but it's also something that she as a governor cannot do, and here's what I fear. I fear that some of these Democratic candidates who are going to swing dramatically to the left to make sure that the Democratic Socialists and the ultra-liberals feel included in this Democratic primary process, because it seems as of late, Democrats have not gone far left enough for a particular, mostly younger cohort of Democratic voters. I don't think it's worth it, because the further left the party apparatus goes, the fewer voters there actually are, and their turnout begins to diminish. So the closer you get to 18 years of age, the lower the voter turnout is, but oftentimes the more liberal and more progressive that voter is. People in the state of Wisconsin are in the middle. Some are left of center, some are right of center, but the further you go to the left, you risk alienating people who are in the middle, just left, or just right thereof. So Sarah Rodriguez had come out with a statement talking about where ICE should be banned in the state of Wisconsin. Because we are a state and a federal system, no governor has the right to tell the federal government nor its federal agents where they can and cannot go. But I think that statement is going to be telling, because here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ways in which the Democrats can screw up the governor's race, because if there's a way to do it, I promise you they'll find it. And if it's by pushing back on Donald Trump, which they have to do, but you have to make policy sense, but telling the federal government or making it a part of your campaign that you are going to deny federal agents access to public buildings in the state of Wisconsin, number one, you can't do it. Number two, it can't be enforced. Number three, you are going to draw the ire of Donald Trump. And so this is just one way that I think that the current lieutenant governor, who's supposed to be the heir apparent, she's basically the vice governor, and I don't know her, because let me tell you why I don't know Sarah Rodriguez. Because in the times I wanted to get to know her, I've invited her on my programs. Hell, that here at 101.7 The Truth, I might have invited her somewhere else, because I think she used to be in the legislature. She either never got back to me or she refused to be on air with me. And now she can't come, because when I was giving her the opportunity, because I don't like the fact that she's the lieutenant governor, she doesn't know us. She doesn't come to Milwaukee. I don't think she knows and understands the sentiment. And so what's going to happen is she's going to pretend to know us. Oh, I know you blacks are poor and struggling, and when I'm governor, I'm going to blah, 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 blah for the blacks. Don't come at us like that. Black people and black voters are way too sophisticated. We have been put on a pedestal as black voters, and we know what our power is. And here's what I'm also fearing, that if the Democrats don't get their lives together, they're going to alienate a bunch of black voters. And if we don't turn out, then Tom Tiffany is going to be the governor. So by the end of the day today, we're going to know how much money the Democratic candidates for governor have raised. So the Republican who I think is going to get the nomination, his name is Tom Tiffany. He has $2 million, which is a lot of money. But here's what shocked me. County Executive David Crowley is in second place with $800,000. So in the grand scheme of how much money you need For a successful gubernatorial campaign in the state of Wisconsin, $800,000 is a drop in the well. But I don't know if many black candidates who've run for statewide or even local office have ever raised that amount of money in such a short period of time. So it seems like there is some pretty hefty financial support for our county executive, David Crowley, in his quest to be the Democratic nominee for governor. I just don't trust Wisconsin white people. I don't. And I have good reason to not trust them. David could run a very good campaign. If you know him, you know he's a very good retail politician. He'll shake your hand, he'll smile at you, he'll talk to you like you're a real human being. He has this knack for it. You know what I mean? He's got this incredible charisma. His smile just lights up a room. He has all of those intangible things you want in someone who is campaigning, but I just don't trust white people from Horicon to vote for the black guy from Milwaukee. Joe Brennan, who was probably the latest and last entry into the gubernatorial race running as a Democrat, has $560,000, which is as impressive as David Crowley, because David Crowley announced in probably September. I mean, it was the worst kept secret in Wisconsin that David Crowley was going to run for governor, but he officially announced probably somewhere around Labor Day. Joe Brennan announced in December and raised $560,000. A guy named Josh Showman, I don't even know who the hell that is. Oh, I think he's one of them Republican fellas. He raised just over $500,000. And then Missy Hughes, no relation, she's running as a Democrat in the gubernatorial primary. She raised $475,000. But you know who's missing off of this list? Mandela Barnes. So Mandela is not on this list that was put out by J.R. Ross. He put it on Twitter. So I'm curious to see if Mandela Barnes is going to be financially competitive. Let me go ahead and say this. If Mandela Barnes has more than David Crowley, if he's raised more, because Mandela just got in the race probably, in October, maybe, November? If Mandela has been able to raise more money than David Crowley, not only will I think that bode well for Mandela getting the Democratic nomination, Mandela probably will get the Democratic nomination, and you know what that means. Tom Tiffany, a Donald Trump sycophant supporter, will be elected governor because Mandela Barnes, I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all this, Mandela Barnes can't even beat the weakest Republican that Wisconsin has to offer. So I know a lot of y'all like Mandela because he's a very nice guy. I'm not saying he isn't a nice guy, but he can't win. And if you look at the situation that we are in nationally, the last thing Wisconsin needs, and what Governor Evers has done, is he's kept us basically inoculated from a lot of Donald Trump's worst impulses, because those Donald Trump worst impulses are also the impulses of our Republican-controlled legislature. Tony Evers still did the good work, very quietly making sure funding existed, making sure there was no interruption in SNAP benefits. Tony Evers actually was a hell of a fail-safe and a stopgap between us and the worst impulses of these Republicans in Wisconsin and Donald Trump. If Mandela gets the nomination, Tom Tiffany will win. And then we will be a state with a Trump governor. And guess what Tom Tiffany's going to do? National Guard is going to be in Milwaukee. They'll be in Madison, pepper spraying protesters. It'll be the worst case scenario. So until we find out how much money Mandela Barnes has raised, I am not throwing up the bat signal for panic just yet. But if Mandela's raised $1 million, then that's going to bode well for Tom Tiffany to be elected governor, because even if Mandela is the Democratic nominee, his relative strength amongst Wisconsin voters is not enough to beat a Republican, even if that Republican is unpopular and endorsed by Donald Trump. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk about this guy that got shot in the leg. But listen, the ICE agent didn't murder him, because we're always saying don't kill people. The police, law enforcement, we don't like when they shoot people because we get very angry. So in Minnesota, a guy got shot in the leg. I call that progress. And also, if you go to YouTube, please vote in our poll. I want to know, would you join an ICE protest? Have you joined one? So if you have joined one, say yes. If you would, say yes. As of right now, with 44 votes, 82% of you would not join an ICE protest. But 18% of you would. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Every child deserves a school that sees their brilliance. At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe in high expectations, strong character, and academic excellence starting as early as age of 3. MCP scholars continue to outperform their peers across Milwaukee. And the best part about it all, Milwaukee College Prep is tuition free. If you're looking for a school that partners with you, challenges your child, and prepares them for college and beyond, Milwaukee College Prep is the place. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to learn more. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles.
The slate's coming in.
What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I don't want to be labeled as cruel, but I also don't want to get shot for someone who is not supposed to be in the country. Hey, now, I'm being honest. I have a lot of work that I need to do still. Milwaukee needs a little help. And I'm doing my level best to get this city to realize its full potential. What good does it do if I get shot because somebody ain't got their paperwork and I'm out there protesting on their behalf? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a hero's death, because you know what y'all would say? Sherwin shouldn't have had his black ass out there no way. First of all, I don't like the cold. I'm not. I protested in the cold once. It's too cold. What do you want? I assure you, the issue will still, whatever the issue is that we are protesting, I promise you the issue will still be there when it's 72 degrees and a light breeze. So why can't I just wait until like June? You know what I mean? And I don't want to get shot. Help. And I think Rhea and her 6 children that came here from Guatemala, like, if they want to come here, I'd love it for them. But I can't, because if I get shot, Maria's not even going to go to my funeral. Wouldn't that be crazy if ICE started going to funerals? Oh, that would be so awful. An Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer shot a man Wednesday in North Minneapolis after allegedly being attacked by men with shovels during an arrest operation. 3 U.S. officials told CBS News. This appears via CBSNews.com. One of the men, a Venezuelan migrant, was shot in the leg but is expected to be okay. The officer was hospitalized and the extent of their injuries was unclear. A large crowd quickly formed at the scene, with demonstrators clashing with law enforcement into the early morning hours. The shooting came exactly 1 week after ICE officer Jonathan Ross fatally shot 37-year-old Renee Good in South Minneapolis. Early this morning, Donald Trump took to his Truth Social platform to say, Operation Metro Surge, that's such a stupid name. You're such an idiot, Trump. Will continue following the decision Wednesday by a federal judge, Kate Mendez, to deny Minnesota and Twin Cities prosecutors a temporary restraining order against ICE. So when Sarah Rodriguez says if she gets elected governor, she's the current lieutenant governor, I feel like I need to say she's the current lieutenant governor every time I mention Sarah Rodriguez's name, because a lot of y'all don't know who Sarah Rodriguez is, and I don't blame you. I've never met her before. So you have a federal judge that is allowing ICE to stay in Minneapolis because apparently the state of Minnesota wanted a restraining order against ICE. You can't get one. You can't. If federal agents want to descend to any of the 50 states and territories, they can legally. Now, we may not like it, but it is legal and is legitimate. And for a Democratic candidate to say, oh, if you elect me as governor, I'm going to kick ICE out of this state, it's a lie. And it's designed to get people who are anti this kind of immigration enforcement engaged in the gubernatorial campaign. But in the event that Sarah Rodriguez or any other Democrat that says that they want to kick ICE out of the state of Wisconsin, if they get elected, we will quickly find out that they have no jurisdiction to do so. As a matter of fact, it might welcome more ICE agents to the state in which the gubernatorial candidate said they were going to kick ICE out. We've got to tread very, very lightly, especially because I don't think black folks is protesting this one. Now, we saw y'all out there during the George Floyd. Thank you. Very nice of you to do that. In the grand scheme of things, though, nothing really changed. The George Floyd Justice and Policing bill never got passed. Joe Biden did do a handful of executive orders that apply to federal law enforcement, but our issue, especially with the murder of George Floyd, wasn't federal law enforcement. It's state and local law enforcement, sheriffs and beat-walking municipal police. So as far as what took place in the aftermath of George Floyd, nothing changed. A lot of people were hurt. There are a lot of cops that were hurt. A lot of protesters and demonstrators were hurt. And it amounted ultimately to nothing. And I don't know if it is worth it for us as black African-American people who are still suffering losses. We're suffering political losses due to this administration. Are they rounding up black people and shipping us off? Not really. But have we lost our opportunities when it comes to affirmative action and DEI? With removing DEI from the federal government, I want y'all to understand the impacts of that. African Americans were overrepresented in the federal government as far as employees. There's a period of time where myself, my mother, and my father were all working for the federal government because the federal government was the first organization and the first agency to actually implement affirmative action policies, basically saying if black people are citizens of this country and paying federal taxes, then black people have every right and every opportunity to work in the federal government. And we were disproportionately employed in the federal government. When Trump used his executive order pen to end DEI, black women's unemployment went up by 6 figures. So we are being harmed. Now, it's not the same kind of harm that we are seeing playing out every single day, but don't worry, that kind of harm is still going on too. Black folks are still getting shot by the police. But I just don't want Americans to think, especially white folks, to think that black people who have been so incredibly aggrieved by this country at every moment you can think of, that we're just random protest labor. We ain't going out there like that and risk getting shot for a cause that's really not ours. I hope I'm not sounding harsh. I'm just being real, because what some liberal white folks are going to do is they're probably going to blame us for not being out there in the streets with them. And first of all, liberal white folks, if you want to blame somebody, I bet your mamas and your grandparents voted for Trump both times. Don't look at us. Somebody got to take responsibility for this. Now, we did our level best to give y'all alternatives. I interviewed everybody and their mama. Hakeem Jeffries, Jim Clyburn. I even interviewed, when I think about it, this was stupid. I interviewed Kamala Harris's sister. Like that did anything. They're like, oh, sure, because I would get these phone calls. The phone calls would come all times of the day or night when there was someone who was a surrogate for Kamala Harris, because I was doing all the damn interviews. They're like, oh, sure, well, we've got a doozy for you. And so this is before I interviewed Joe Biden. Joe Biden was a doozy. Like, oh, we got a big name for you. I interviewed Pete Buttigieg. I interviewed Mark Cuban. Literally everybody and their sister, to try and give as many voices as I possibly could to why Donald Trump is bad and why Kamala Harris would be less bad. Not even better, just less bad, because she wasn't perfect either now. They're like, oh, Sherwin, we got a doozy. I'm like, oh, snap, who could it be? I'm thinking it was Obama. One of them. I'll take Michelle or Barack. They said, oh, we got a big name for you to interview, Sherwin. We're so excited. I'm like, ooh, the suspense is killing me. They said, Maya Harris. I said, who now? I said, the girl from Saturday Night Live? They're like, no, that's Maya Rudolph. I'm like, who is Maya Harris? We got you Kamala Harris's sister. I'm like, what the hell good is that going to do? I sat and talked to Maya Harris for 15 minutes about how nice of a sister Kamala was. So I did every damn thing I could to try and get people to not vote for Donald Trump. It ain't work out. And the consequences of it are not our fault. So what do you want us to do? It's too cold to protest. Early Thursday morning, Donald Trump took to Truth Social's platform to say Operation Metro Surge will continue following the decision on Wednesday by federal judge Kate Mendez to deny Minnesota and Twin Cities prosecutors a temporary restraining order against ICE. A highly respected judge declined to block ICE operations in the very politically corrupt state of Minnesota, Trump said. ICE, therefore, will be allowed to continue its highly successful operation in removing some of the violent and vicious criminals anywhere in the world. So really, my opinion, from what I have seen, the most violent and vicious criminals are ICE themselves. But let this be a word of caution to the candidates who are running as Democrats in the state of Wisconsin. First of all, we need to have a Democratic governor, or Wisconsin will be screwed in ways that will be untold. None of them should run on a platform of kicking ICE out of Wisconsin if they get elected, because they have zero jurisdiction and it will be dishonest to the voters, because there are some people who might vote for the Democratic candidate, whoever they are, because of the promises to remove ICE from the state of Wisconsin. I'm letting y'all know right now that no governor has the power to remove federal agents, a federal agency, or federal law enforcement from the boundaries of a state. We good? Okay. Take a break, come back, continue ranting and raving and simply asking the question, what the hell you want me to do? I can't get out there and protest for the immigrants. It's too, first of all, it's too cold. I don't like pepper spray, and I would hate to get shot protesting on behalf of someone who's not supposed to be in the country. Now, I'm not trying to be harsh. I know that there are some people that have their visas and the temporary visas. But what do you want me to do? One of the few things that I have other than my brains, and that depends on the day, is the fact that I am an American citizen. Like, I actually get to claim that. Even though it's embarrassing sometimes, I'm not going to put myself in harm's way protesting for a non-citizen. I'm going to give you the list of countries. I shouldn't be laughing, but he's like kicking everybody out. So there's another list of countries where either if you're in the country, in America, from these countries, you have to go, or you are banned from coming. There's a new list, so I'm going to give you that list on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, you just won $5,000!
What would you do with $5,000?
That's sweet for a couple months.
Yes!
There you go.
Yes.
Y'all just made me happy.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Can we hold something?
Y'all holler back at y'all.
The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 1017 The Truth. This Friday night, we have a City Conference matchup as the Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks travel to take on the Audubon Tech Cardinals. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices.
Whether your child is just learning to dribble or is already working on their threes, Bucks Youth basketball camps are the place to play, learn, and have a blast, too. Packed with games, skills challenges, and high fives, Bucks Youth basketball camps foster fun and teamwork for all skill levels. Get ready for your youngster to ball like a buck. Learn more about upcoming Bucks Youth basketball camps at bucks.com/camps. That's bucks.com/camps.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
My name is Adrienne, and I was hurt in a car accident. What Gruber Law Office has done for me was made me feel safe. It didn't cost me anything, just one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On YouTube, Thomas says, seems like all 1017 on-air personalities are speaking from the same script. And that script is, don't protest, let them take the country. I'm old, I guess I shouldn't give a crap. First of all, Thomas, they already got the country. They already got it. And who are we taking the country from? And once we take it, what the hell are we going to do with it? What you want me to do? First of all, I don't want America. I'm cool living here and doing my thing and being unbothered, but I'm not over here trying. This ain't my fight. These are not my people. And when it comes down to it, I know they wouldn't fight for me. I'm just giving you a harsh reality. You sound like an old white boy talking this mess. This is not our problem. So what happens is white folks made a decision. And this is how I know, I probably shouldn't say this, it might sound racist. This is how I know this is a white protest, and some of this is involving white guilt because there's no looting. Because white people are not going to tear up their own neighbor because they own the businesses. We loot because we don't own that stuff. I want people to make a distinction. Remember when George Floyd stuff was going on and they was going in Targets? People was coming out with bedroom sets. I even remember the CEO of Target at the time telling law enforcement to stand down. People are upset, and if they want to steal things from Target, he came out and said, well, we're insured. So don't hurt anybody if people want to go in Target stores and steal. Because, Target is headquartered in Minneapolis. And they would show, like, local news footage. I was fascinated by this. And then people, of course, would have their cell phone cameras. And the way people were, like, in an orderly fashion going in Target and just filling carts like they were shopping. It was this one, I'll never forget this. It was a 20-something-year-old white lady, right? And it was a couch. And the couch was right in front of the Target, in front of the glass doors. And it's in the parking lot. And she's just sitting on the couch waiting for like her husband or her boyfriend to pull up with a pickup truck. And then they put the couch in the back of the truck and just drove off. It was very calm and very orderly. But we as black folks, when you say, oh, why are you guys looting your own community? Black people don't own AutoZone or Walgreens or CVS's. We don't own none of that stuff. So if we don't own those things, there's no allegiance. I think that's where it's twisted. I think white folks are much more aligned with corporate America and black people are not, because the same flavor of corporate America got wealthy off of the slave trade. All they did was morphed into modern times. So we have no allegiance to some big box company or big box corporation taking up real estate in our community. Hell yeah, we'll steal from it. Well, white folks won't. No, don't take that bottle of Anacin from the Walgreens. That wouldn't be right. Well, let's just protest in an orderly fashion. So, Thomas, you very well could be right. Maybe we are, as 1017 The Truth host, speaking from the same script. This is not, as hosts, and everybody is different, obviously, but we're a black radio station. And we don't do ourselves any favors by participating in somebody else's movement because they don't participate in ours. Black people are expected, because we have a high misery index, that whenever somebody else is hurting, we're not mammies for y'all no more. There was a decision that was made against the best wishes and the best votes of our community. Do not expect us to go out there and put ourselves in harm's way, because this was not our doing. Now, are we impacted by it? Yes. But every single year, every single decade, every single century, black folks are impacted and harmed by something else. We don't need to go and join somebody else's struggle, because that takes away from the effort, the energy, and the momentum that we need for ours. And I'm not apologizing for that. That's just what it is. All right, what do we got here? U.S. to suspend immigrant visas from 75 more countries over public assistance concerns. I want to read the list of countries here. Do they have all 75 in the article? Let me see. Oh, good Lord. All right, here we go. Countries affected by the suspension are Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Antigua, Barbuda, Armenia, Azerbaijan, the Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belarus, Belize, Bhutan, Bosnia, Brazil, Burma, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Colombia, Congo, Cuba, Dominica, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Fiji, Gambia, Georgia, Ghana, Grenada, Guatemala, Guinea, Haiti, Iran, Iraq, Ivory Coast, Jamaica, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, Lebanon. These are a lot of people of color countries. Liberia, Libya, Macedonia, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Morocco, Nepal, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Pakistan, Republic of Congo, Russia, Rwanda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia. Oh, that's not a shock. South Sudan, Syria. How come not South Africa? Tanzania, Thailand, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, and Yemen. If you are in this country from those countries, you got to get out. And if you are in those countries and you want to come to America, we are not going to let you in. That is an exhaustive list of countries. The new directive expanded those with more specific requirements. It said consular officials must consider the range of specific details about people seeking visas, including their age, health, family status, finances, education, skills, and any past use of public assistance, regardless of the country they're from. So we think that the people from those countries are going to siphon off all of our welfare dollars and public assistance. So Donald Trump has just expanded the ban to those nations. So, again, I didn't vote for this. I don't know what you want me to do, person from Uzbekistan that wants to come to America. I guess I can just wish you good luck. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you. And then they gonna tell you, come here. Now, you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkbylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
You're listening to the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and the introduction of Andrew as my Hour 2 producer. Y'all know that this show has got 75 different producers. Almost as many producers as this country is banned from coming to the United States. Wild Love says, good morning. If we protest and something breaks out, who do you think the media is going to look for and put the cameras on? They'll probably use them on their campaign commercials and commercials for the midterm. You damn right. Black folks are not just general protest labor. Now, I got a couple of things here, actually. I'm not sure which direction we're going to take the show. Listen, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm just telling you all right now. Because this voice needs to heal, and I can't heal if I'm talking. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow. And I'm not going to be here on Monday because I'm going to be commemorating and celebrating the life and the legacy and the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I ain't working on that holiday. That's a black holiday. I'm going to be doing black people stuff. Like eating fried chicken and watermelon. And dousing myself in grape soda. Somebody said they dated a Mexican girlfriend in the YouTube chat, and I want to find that comment. Where is the person? What does that have to do? Oh, here we go. Mr. Mahdi, of course. I had a Mexican girlfriend. She was good. And he gives a thumbs up emoji. Good to me and my kids. But she loved to kiss Mr. Charlie too much. So Mr. Charlie is who Mahdi refers to as white people. Well, some Mexicans think they're white until they find out that they're not. So I have a story here, actually two. One is a really significant and in-depth comparison to the crack epidemic and the opioid crisis, which were two major public health, I'm going to call them public health because we know more about them now. It really impacted public health. And there were different responses to both of them, both the opioid crisis, which was manufactured, and the crack epidemic, which was planted and instituted. And we as the black community, we look at where we still are lagging and lacking, and we always have someone who's having the conversation about what we lack as black people, like overall, to the crack epidemic and how bad it was for our community. And it was. It left children in foster care. There was a lot of child abuse and child neglect. We know that there was this rush to mass incarceration. It was the biggest prison boom that the nation had ever seen. There was also violence and gang violence and controlling geographic turf and territory where you could sell more of this very addictive drug. And so there was gang violence as well. And then I have the comparison of the opioid crisis. And upon initial inspection, the opioid crisis was much more detrimental, even though all races, cultures, and incomes were impacted in one form or another by the opioid crisis. It seems to me that the highest harm was in white communities. Not entirely true. I mean, there's some data that justifies that, but everybody was harmed in one form or another by the opioid crisis. But until I did this research, because I looked up a whole bunch of stuff, I wanted to get the nitty-gritty and the granular details. I always thought that the crack epidemic, because we used race, we use it as an example of how incredibly racist America is institutionally and how they would create a program where crack was allowed to be sold. The CIA was complicit. The profit that was made funded a war in Central America, a covert war. Like, it was a really evil policy apparatus that impacted the black community. And we as black people use that as examples of how racist the United States can be. And I always thought that the crack epidemic was dramatically worse, infinitely worse, exponentially worse than the opioid crisis. Not even close. So in order to be credible and say, look, oh no, the crack epidemic, it was intentional, it harmed black people, and it harmed way more black people, the numbers aren't even close. If you look at deaths and just overall destruction and the length of time. The crack epidemic, while it was significant while it was happening, it was short. The opioid crisis is still going on. We're looking at like 30 years of that, and deaths are estimated to be in the millions. So what I'm trying to say about America is, yes, there are some racial overtones to damn near everything, but it's really about class, because in both instances, whether you're looking at the crack epidemic or the opioid crisis, it was poor people or working class people that bore the brunt of that burden. And so instead of us always having blinders on and just looking at race as the predominant factor of who we are going to harm, it's poor people. Dr. King, whose legacy you guys are going to pretend to celebrate on Monday, which is so aggravating because the people that use and misuse Dr. King's legacy, if anything, they use his legacy to subdue black violence. Black people are violent because we learned it from the best, and there's also a lot to be really mad at. But when they say stuff like, oh, you know, Dr. King wouldn't like you doing that stuff. Dr. King was nonviolent. The reason why the movement, the civil rights movement, shepherded in and ushered in by Dr. King was nonviolent was to show when black people were just walking down the street, white supremacy was the violent apparatus. When we were being peaceful, we were being beaten and killed and jailed and dogs and fire hoses. That's why the movement was nonviolent. It wasn't nonviolent to be passive, because what I come to find out, being nonviolent takes a tremendous amount of strength. It takes more strength than I have. Can you imagine somebody punching you in the face and you just continuing to walk? Just getting punched in the jaw. And sometimes if they catch you with a good one, you'll lose your legs. So boom, they hit you in the jaw, you fall down and you get back up and you dust yourself off and say, I'm gonna keep on going to this here courthouse. You know what's worse than getting punched in the face? Getting spit on. Oh my. Could you just think for a second? I can probably count on one hand minus two of my fingers and my thumb where someone intentionally spit on me. First of all, spitting on somebody is felony assault. I don't know if you know that. Felony assault. If you spit on somebody, it's felony. Imagine spitting on somebody and losing your right to vote, and you can't carry a firearm, you can't get certain jobs, you can't borrow money for student loans, you can't live in public housing, and like, oh wow, what felony did you commit? I spit on someone. I spit in their face. But the times in which somebody spit on me, I got more angry than when somebody hit me. It's so vile. But could you imagine that? I just want people for a moment, as you're going to engage in the legacy of Dr. King, what he endured, what all of those marchers and protesters endured, and still remain, for the most part, nonviolent, like not even fighting back, takes an amount of energy and courage and faith that none of us have. And I know that we don't have it because I see the fight videos on Instagram. Everybody's punching everybody in the face. It's just terrible. All right, let me table the conversation about the crack and the opioid epidemic. Maybe I'll get to that during hour 3. But there's something else that is going on that is hurting and harming black people that no one is really paying a lot of attention to. And they always want us to be out there in the movements and protests for somebody else. Hey, we need more people to join the protest. Call up the blacks. I learned my lesson a long time ago. When Dontre Hamilton was murdered by Milwaukee police officer Christopher Manny. This was April 21st, 2014. Dontre was at Red Arrow Park, a public park, hanging out. There's a Starbucks in that park. And the people that were going to Starbucks didn't like him being there because he was laying down underneath the park bench. And they didn't like that, the people that were going to the Starbucks. So a police officer was called. A squad car showed up. There were 2 officers in that squad car, and they parked on Water Street because Red Arrow Park is on the 900 block of Water Street downtown. That squad showed up, and they sat there for an hour, and they saw that Dontre Hamilton was doing nothing wrong. He was committing no offenses. He wasn't badgering people. He wasn't bothering people. He was laying down in a public park, minding his own business. And I find this so incredibly ironic. And I'm going to get to the part of the story that discourages African Americans from joining protests. And this is one of the best examples I can give because it's from recent memory. White people go to parks all the time and lay down, and they call it tanning. We don't call the police on them, but whatever, neither here nor there. So a Starbucks barista called the police and said, there's a black fella laying on the ground. Squad car shows up. There were 2 officers in that squad. They sat there for an hour, and said he's not doing anything wrong. They left. That barista happened to have the personal cell phone number of another officer, an officer named Christopher Manny. That barista called Christopher Manny. Christopher Manny then called dispatch and said, hey, take me out of rotation. I'm about to go see about something, meaning he called dispatch to say, if there is a call for service in the area in which I'm patrolling, I'm unavailable because I'm about to go check out this Starbucks. I need you to listen to me now. A squad car with 2 Milwaukee police officers sat in front of that damn Starbucks for an hour and determined that Dontre Hamilton was doing nothing wrong. The barista calls Christopher Manny. Christopher Manny takes his nightstick and starts to poke and badger Dontre Hamilton. Remember, he had been doing nothing wrong, and if he was white, they would just say he's catching some rays. Dontre Hamilton, being startled, grabbed the nightstick, as you would too. Christopher Manny shot Dontre Hamilton 14 times. There were protests every single day, as you could imagine. And the location was ideal because Red Arrow Park was literally right next door to City Hall. And, of course, a lot of changes needed to be instituted at City Hall to make sure someone who was hanging out in a public park doesn't get murdered for laying down on the ground under a park bench. I attended one of the protests, mostly African American, but there was a scattering of the whites. And I noticed this white girl was going up to people at the protest asking for petition signatures. She came up to me. And, of course, I'm interested in what she was collecting signatures for. This was a protest that I felt deeply engaged in and committed to because, first of all, I used to work at City Hall, but also the egregiousness of the murder of Dontre Hamilton highlighted police-community relations here in the city of Milwaukee, so I felt really super invested in this one. And this white girl who was in her 20s, and she's one of those, one of the dirty whites with the dreadlocks, just a filthy, filthy white. Looks like she would wear no shoes all the time. She's one of those kind. And she said, here, will you sign this petition? We're trying to legalize marijuana in Wisconsin. And in that moment, I knew the disconnect. And I'm sure she was a Democrat. I'm sure she was a liberal. But what they often do is they'll take advantage of black tragedy, go to where there are large groups of African Americans protesting for a cause that we have been fighting to try and rectify for hundreds of years, and they'll try and take advantage of that for their own political agenda. So why I'm leery and weary of them when they show up in our neighborhoods at our protests. I never forgot that. And I was offended, and she got mad at me. I'm like, ma'am, do you know why we're here? She's like, yeah, like a black dude, like totally got shot, and it's really bad. But we also think that you blacks could benefit from legalizing marijuana because a bunch of you blacks are in prison because of the war on drugs. This is literally how they talk to us. You should sign this because you blacks go to jail a lot. And then if you fast forward to where marijuana is almost completely legal everywhere, who's making money off of it and who's still going to jail for it? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's recognizing that there are people in the world that only have one word on their mind and heart when they become emotional when something happens to someone they like. They become irrational, they become fixated, and they do to others what they believe was done to them. The one thing everybody in America right now today, with the death of Charlie Kirk, the one thing they need to fear is retaliation.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. This is your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball Weekly Update on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The City Conference was rocking last Saturday at the Al McGuire Center on the campus of Marquette University as the City Review delivered non-stop hoops action like it always does. On the boys' side, the Milwaukee Juneau Pioneers stayed on fire as they defeated the Carmen Northwest Eagles 90-63, led by their junior sensation, Dooney Johnson. With that win, the Pioneers have won 9 of their last 10 games and look to continue on as they try to win a City Conference title. Now on to the girls' side, where they brought the intensity to the City Review as well as the Golda Meir Owls locked down the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats for a 50-37 victory.
This has been your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball Weekly Update.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
You served behind the desk. You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted. You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you. When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee police are searching for a suspect in an arson case after a fire at a north side apartment complex forced nearly 200 people from their homes. Black people are overwhelmingly and disproportionately at risk of dying from fire more than any other racial group. It is going undiscussed, it is going unnoticed, and it is killing us. I want to give you more details about that because ain't nobody protesting that fires are quietly killing us. And it's almost a joke sometimes because whenever I see a black content creator, why it's always the black content creators, always hit a damn smoke alarm chirp in the background. Like there's something to that. We don't have batteries in our smoke alarms, or we don't replace the batteries in our smoke alarms. So what you hear, I don't know if I'm like trained to listen for it. I don't care what the content creator is talking about. If I hear that smoke alarm chirp, I'm going right to the comments. They could be making some grand prognostication about the end of the world and racial injustice and about Barack Obama and Donald Trump and the Affordable Care Act, whatever the hell they're talking about. If I hear that, chirp, I'm going right to the comments. But there's something to that, so I want to give you all some details just to let you know that there are things that are still harming black people that we don't discuss, that we don't talk about, and it's killing us. So where are all the people who you want us to protest ICE? So where are you all in providing us with smoke detector batteries? You know what I mean? It's like we lend our bodies and our institutional knowledge about America to somebody else's protest movements, and nobody comes to save us. And no, I get it. We're all a country. We're all a community. We have felt that way, but we still, as black folks, are not included. I don't sometimes feel included in groups of white people that I know. So we as black folks can want community all day long, but it's not up to us because we are still a numeric minority. Let's talk to. Hi, Millicent. How are you?
I am fine. Sherwin, we got to get that voice fixed.
Yeah, I'm taking off tomorrow. I ain't going to be here tomorrow. I'm off Monday and tomorrow because I need to rest the vocal cords.
Yeah. I had a discussion once with a white woman who had lost her daughter to a drug overdose, an opioid drug overdose. And her comment was that opioids were worse than crack for the epidemic. And I tried to explain to her, and let me start with this first. What I'm going to say is very, very mean.
Oh, good Lord.
A lot of people don't like it, but it's true.
Maybe you shouldn't say it.
The crack epidemic, because it's true, the crack epidemic was people trying to get that ultimate high. They got that first high, and they were always searching to get that high again. That's why they kept doing it. The thing about opioids is when a person dies from an opioid overdose, they have reached that ultimate high. They've gotten the goal that they have been searching for as they've been getting high. So can you really be upset if your kid has reached his life goal of that ultimate high?
Millicent, that's terrible.
You really can't be.
That's not nice.
I know it's terrible, but it's true. It's true. And when you try to compare crack to heroin or whatever else, they eventually, white people again, eventually get the ultimate. We never get the ultimate. That's why crack decimated our community. Your kids are at least getting the ultimate high. They've reached their goals in life. You might not like the goal they got to, but they reached it. So don't try to compare crack and what the heroin epidemic. You just can't do that. And I try to tell white people that. You can't be upset about your kid dying from an overdose because that's what they wanted. They wanted that ultimate high. They've gotten to their goal in life. You got to be happy for them. So don't be mad. Be happy. And I know that sounds bad, but it is the truth.
Millicent, that was probably, and you're known to be mean. This might have been the worst thing you've ever said. Nobody is happy that they lose
I got
a
some
child.
worse than that. I got some worse than that because it's all true. And you can't get mad at the truth. That's what I'm trying to, you cannot.
You said you have something worse than that? I want to hear it. What do you have worse than what you just said?
I got some worse. I got some, I make them cry sometimes. But it's all true. And you can go tell on me. You can go say whatever you want to. But if you sit down, take your feelings out of it, and think about it, it's true. It is so true. That's why when you give them Narcan and they're going out, they get mad when they come back because you messed up the greatest high they ever had. Hey.
All right.
Can't be mad at that.
Okay. Well, thank you for your insight.
Bye.
Okay. That was so mean. Personally, I have lost at least 5 friends to opioids. I'm counting them in my head. It might be more than 5 I know, 5 people I was close to. And it's interesting because none of them, my friends that died of overdoses, didn't make it to 40. Of my black friends that didn't make it to the age of 40, all of them died by homicide except for one girl who committed suicide. So that's a pretty profound racial difference right there. But what I know about opioid addiction is it's extremely difficult to kick. But I think what makes it worse is that OxyContin was prescribed by doctors to people that were legitimately in pain. And pain is a torturous kind of condition. I don't know if you guys know this. They used to have pain clinics all over the city of Milwaukee. You remember the TGI Fridays at Northridge where Jesse Anderson murdered his wife but blamed a black kid on the murder of his wife, but he's the one that murdered his wife. And then people stopped going to Northridge because they thought all the black people that went to Northridge were wife murderers, and it turned out to be Jesse Anderson. And then Jesse Anderson went to prison and got murdered by a black person. Remember him? So anyway, I said all that to say this. The TGI Fridays restaurant at Northridge, where Jesse Anderson murdered his wife, turned into a pain clinic. In fact, it was a pain clinic for longer than it was a TGI Fridays. They used to be everywhere. You can have a drug epidemic where drugs are illegally flown across the U.S. border and manufactured with baking soda and boiling water and then sold on the street. That's one thing. Having addictive drugs prescribed by doctors and telling people that they're not addictive is another. What happens is they lose everything, they hit rock bottom, and they go to rehab several times. And maybe the third time they go to rehab, it's the charm. And they're clean. They're clean for 3 months, lo and behold, 6 months, and then you get like a coin. Don't they give you like a coin if you go to rehab? And yeah, you get like a 3-month coin and a 6-month coin. You get a year coin. The thing about heroin and opioids, because we've got receptors in our brains that are looking for opioids. So that's why we get so incredibly addicted, you see. And somebody will be clean for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and they relapse. And here's what happens in 90% of the cases. When they relapse, they go back to the dose that they most recently did. So if you've been clean for a year, your tolerance for heroin, especially if you inject it, is really low because you've been clean for a year. But they remember the exact dosage they used to take. And so when they relapse, they take the dosage that they took when they were getting high every day. And because their tolerance is so low because they haven't used junk in a year, boom, they overdose and they die. That is how it happens more often than not, because to them, it's a safe dose because that is the amount that they used to use when they were using every day. Let's talk to Brian. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, Sherwin? I hope you get better, man. You definitely need to take a day off. But
I will.
Millicent was describing. You remember Clarence Williams the third?
I don't know Clarence
from
Williams
the movie. Well, Clarence Williams the third was in that movie Sugar Hill back in the day with anyway, the name of the movie was Sugar Hill, and they gave his father an overdose, and he had a huge smile on his face when he took his last dose because he was that happy. So I just said that to bring remembrance to ODing. ODing is when people are super happy, but they get that last hit and they're done.
Why does it sound like we're glorifying people overdosing on heroin? That's not...
Because they're happy when they they're happy when they leave.
No, they're not. They're addicted, and sometimes they need the heroin to feel normal. I don't think y'all quite understand. There's a clip that I need to play. Let me see if I can find it to better, like, encapsulate. Like, y'all think it's fun and games. I've seen people addicted to junk. They needed to stop shaking and stop vomiting and going diarrhea on themselves. It's not fun. Once they get to that level of addiction, there's no pleasure. The pleasure is gone after the first couple of highs. I'm going to need y'all to be a little bit better on understanding addiction, because black folks is dying from it too. You know how many black junkies came back from the Vietnam War? It really impacted our community.
Oh, yeah. Quite a bit. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Brian, for nothing. Y'all are just a bunch of meanies. What the hell? All right, let me take a break. Let me try and find this heroin clip. Because y'all don't, like, oh, they're having the time of their lives. No, they're not. They've lost everything: their friends, their family, their sanity, their dignity, their teeth, their good looks, their hair. That's not a party. They're very dirty. They're not wearing shoes. It's a very unceremonious way to die. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
Regroup, rethink, and reshape, and get on the front lines. It's only to your benefit. I always tell people, you helping the overall ideal of a better community, it actually helps you out. It helps you out. It helps your family out. It's time. Do not bring that reactionary attitude into the new year. This is the best time to start fresh. This is the plot. They plot this out, and it's been going on for years. This is normal. This is the way it is. This is where we are right now. It's all buddy-buddy. And if you're not a part of the friend situation, you're not getting in. They don't want nobody getting in and seeing where the messy. That's why I'll never get in. Because they know I'm not going to play around about my community. They know I'm not going to sit in no meetings and see y'all shucking and jiving and sniggling and giggling and not say nothing about it. I'm going to tell you to shut up.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I want you to hear something.
Actually, this is an obvious question, but it's not what you might think. Let me explain it to you. I've been an opiate addict for a long time and tried many drugs. Drugs that are uppers have the most obvious euphoria. For example, if you take Adderall, Coke, meth, speed, MDMA, you will get this shining, bright euphoria, self-confidence, energy, and other drug-specific feelings. For meth, like you are king, or for MDMA, like you love everyone. However, you owe these drugs back what they delivered to you. After a meth binge or lots of MDMA use or staying up all night on Coke, you will feel like shit. To an extent, this aspect is similar to an alcoholic hangover. On the other hand, for many people who experiment with heroin, they are just underwhelmed, not including IV usage, but most experimenters rarely ever IV first time. They just feel good, chill, happy, but they feel like this spooky drug heroin hasn't delivered. They are just mellow. Oh, obviously it has all been a lie, they will think. Heroin isn't spooky, it's chill. It's not addictive like everyone else thinks. It doesn't make you do stupid shit. They hallucinate like amphetamines or coke. It doesn't empty your serotonin like MDMA or give you a hangover like alcohol. People tend to just think, oh, what a nice drug. So the next day they wake up and everything is normal. No headache or shit. The slight afterglow of that nice feeling. Oh, it was cheap as well. It only cost $10 for a whole night of being high. I thought people said heroin was expensive. And then next weekend comes. There are all these drugs I could do, but I liked heroin. It didn't fuck me. Still think clearly. No hangover, no feeling like shit later. I was awake. It just made me happy and content with life. Oh, and it's only $10. Well, I should get some more for the whole weekend. This is great. I will use heroin on the weekends now. Now, let's say this person works and has responsibilities. He knows he can't go into work drunk or on MDMA or high, so he doesn't. It's actually simple. But heroin... well, the user might actually find they do better work on heroin. Instead of being sad or grumpy or depressed with his job, he is just happy, mellow, content. Everything is fine and the world is beautiful. It's raining, it's dark, I woke up at 5:30 a.m., I'm commuting in traffic. I would have had a headache, I would have been miserable, I would have wondered how my life took me to this point I'm at right now. But no. Everything is fine. Life is beautiful. The raindrops are just falling, and in each one I see the reflection of every person's life around me. Humanity is beautiful. In this still frame shot of traffic on this crowded bus, I just found love and peace. Heroin is a wonder drug. Heroin is better than everything else. Heroin makes me who I wish I was. Heroin makes life worth living. Heroin is better than everything else. Heroin builds up a tolerance fast. Heroin starts to cost more money. I need heroin to feel normal. I don't love anymore. Now I'm sick. I can't afford the heroin that I need. How did $10 used to get me high? Now I need $100. That guy that let me try a few lines the first time doesn't actually deal. Oh, I need to find a real dealer? This guy's a felon and carries a gun. He can sell me the drug that lets me find love in the world. No, this isn't working. I need to quit. To answer your question, heroin feels nice. That's all. It just feels very nice. You can make the rest up for yourself. Attach your own half-truths to this drug that will show you the world, and for a moment you will feel as clever as Faust.
That is a much better explanation of what heroin is, how you build a tolerance to it. Because I come to find out, at least from a couple of people that have called, they're like, oh, no, people have achieved the ultimate high and it feels good. No, it does not. You guys have, and I know that some of you have you ever seen the misery on the face of a junkie? They're not doing good. It's like having a real bad case of the Mondays. Okay, it's probably worse than that, but I just don't want people to be under any kind of illusion that opioids are just like, oh, it's really fun. It starts off that way. There was, well, I don't know if she's still alive, someone who I met kind of randomly that would speak very openly about her addiction and how she first got into heroin. She just went to a party. And most people don't IV the first time they shoot up. They might snort it. They probably snort it because there are forms of heroin that you can snort. Or they may have prescription painkillers like Oxycontin, as an example. And they'll remove the time-release coating on the Oxycontin. And then once they get a tolerance to that, they'll crush it up and they'll snort it, because then it gets into the blood system even faster. And when you can no longer doctor shop, or if you don't have the money to buy these opioids off of the street, you go and you get some heroin. This is exactly what happened with this lady who was very open about her addiction. And the high is obviously much cleaner. It is much stronger. But over time, the high is shorter. She talked about the withdrawals that she had, which I'm going to spare you the very gruesome details of it. But you will go through these physically painful withdrawals and the night sweats and the night terrors and the extreme pain and the shaking and the loss of appetite until you get more heroin. And then when you get the heroin, it just makes you feel functional again. So the joy and euphoria of the high is totally gone. It is just to not shake, to not sweat, to not go through this excruciating pain. Now, the unfortunate thing is rehab forces somebody through that very painful withdrawal, and I think that there are some drugs that can ease the suffering a little bit. But I've also seen people that they get off heroin and then they get addicted to methadone. Methadone is the synthetic form, which is supposed to wean people off of heroin. It doesn't. Or they get addicted to Suboxone, which is this dissolvable medication that a heroin addict, they wake up in the morning and they put a Suboxone tablet underneath their tongue, and it's supposed to curb their addiction to heroin. But people get addicted to that too. It is a terrible, terrible drug. Now, there is not a direct one-to-one comparison between the crack epidemic and the opioid crisis and the heroin epidemic. But the ultimate results, though, for the heroin addict, I think are dramatically worse. And it does deserve to get treated like a public health risk, because for thousands, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, their heroin addiction started with a real doctor prescribing them a painkiller that they were told as a patient was not addictive. Both the pharmaceutical reps were lying and the doctors were lying. And Purdue Pharma got in a lot of trouble for pushing this drug that they knew was highly addictive. At one point in time, they were making OxyContin at 160 milligrams. 5 milligrams of OxyContin could knock out a damn horse. 160 milligram pills. And so Purdue Pharma got in trouble. The Sackler family that made billions of dollars of addicting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And you know what happened to the Sackler family? They got a $4 billion fine. To the best of my knowledge, they still have never repaid. Hundreds of thousands of people dead. Millions of lives interrupted. Children abandoned and orphaned. People going to prison for I don't know how long. Total destruction of some communities in Ohio, in Kentucky, in Tennessee, and other places in West Virginia. Total destruction of those families and those communities. I would say even more so than what the crack epidemic did to us. And the family that was responsible paid a fine that they never even wrote a check to rectify. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know you love working weekends, if it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 101.7 The Truth. This Friday night, we have a City Conference matchup as the Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks travel to take on the Audubon Tech Cardinals. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app and 1017thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
Day 1, diagnosis day, the hardest day, the day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Some of these comments, you guys. Christina says, there's some truth to what this caller is saying. I think they were referring to Millicent. LaRon said, I was friends with a brother and sister who both overdosed on heroin. LaRon says, my friend had ankle surgery a month ago and will not take any painkillers for fear he will relapse. So I've been prescribed prescription level painkillers twice, maybe. They don't do nothing for me. I don't know what the big deal is about Percocet. Percocet never killed my pain. Neither did Oxy or hydrocodone. They just didn't do anything for me. Literally nothing. Percocet just makes you itch. It makes you guys know what I'm talking about if you've been given some perks. There's no perks to perks. It just makes you itchy. Didn't kill my pain at all. In fact, I respond better to ibuprofen and Tylenol than I do to the hydrocodone or the oxycodone or the Percocets. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. Mahdi said, Millicent needs Jesus. I lost my niece and nephew, 39 and 27. I lost many cool people to fentanyl. Kawanda says, I'm thankful that I'm allergic to all of these drugs. I think we're all allergic to them, technically. She said, I've had a few surgeries, and only thing I can take is Tylenol, so I really struggle and suffer, but I'm still here. I'm not addicted to anything. There was a story the NBC News did that found, so with children, we treat children in pain differently because we want to ease the suffering of children because they usually have lower pain tolerances. And so there are two particular medical conditions that the medical community agrees almost universally. When children have these two conditions, you give them the maximum amount of pain relief that they can tolerate. And so this goes above and beyond even Tylenol 3, which is Tylenol with codeine. So when children have these two medical conditions, you begin to introduce opioids to them because the pain is unbearable for these two conditions. The first one is a broken bone. When children break a bone, doctors have universally agreed that you want to give that child the maximum prescription level painkiller that can ease their suffering. So first is a broken bone. Next is appendicitis. This was a study that was done in 2015, and I reference it often so that we can be aware of the racial bias that exists in the healthcare field. Because there's a stereotype that black children are much more likely to be addicted to drugs, that we have like this lower threshold for addiction, which is totally unfounded. And biologically, there's no evidence of it whatsoever. Black children, when experiencing a broken bone or appendicitis, are just given Tylenol. But white children are given opioids. So here is the medical community being racist against black children, also thinking that black children have a higher tolerance of pain. But that even goes back to when we were slaves. They beat us because they thought we could take it. But in a very unusual reversal of fortune, it got some children addicted to opioids because in medical professionals seeking to ease the pain and suffering of white children with broken bones or appendicitis, they gave them essentially synthetic heroin. But black children would come out still in pain, but not addicted to those opioids that were given to white children, all because they wanted to ease the suffering of white children and made sure that black children did not get that same courtesy. It's really, really ironic. Mr. Mahdi said heroin people get sick when they're not high. I had a girlfriend on heroin. She was beautiful. Mahdi, how many damn girlfriends have you had? You need to stop it. You've had girlfriends that were Mexican. You've had girlfriends that were on dope. You've had girlfriends that have died. You just had a baby 5 months ago. You need to put it in your pants, sir. I think I know what your addiction is, and it's cooter cat. You need to relax on the cooter cat, sir. Sheepers, creepers. Here's the one I'm looking for. Somebody said, the General Squeak says, cocaine and crack is a mental addiction. Heroin is physical. Wrong. Cocaine and derivatives are physically addictive. How do we not know this? Didn't y'all have to take the drug class in school? I thought we all had to take the drug class where they tell you about all the drugs that you're not supposed to take. I think it backfired. I know I'm not the only one. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. There was the anti-drug sentiment was strong. You know, you had DARE, Drug Awareness Resistance Education, which we come to find out was a whole damn scam. But you guys didn't have the drug classes. So remember the drug classes where they tell you about the horrible effects of these drugs, but the way they described them kind of made you want to do the drugs anyway? Don't smoke marijuana. It'll make you feel happy and it'll make you laugh. And it'll make you want to eat burritos from Taco Bell and go to sleep. Don't do cocaine because it'll make you smarter. Yeah, they backfired on us, I thought. Morphine. So when I was in the hospital in August, I was so anemic that my body was mimicking a heart attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. I wasn't. So I had these horrible, and I'm in the ER, horrible chest pains. And my nurse gave me some morphine intravenously. Oh, I understand. How do I even describe it? I went from being in excruciating pain to frolicking in a field of daisies with birds chirping and being like, this is what it physically felt like. Being I'm with the daisies and there's sunflowers and I'm skipping along and let me pick a sunflower. and I'd smell it, and I would skip, and I would just be surrounded by topless women. That is what morphine feels like. Now, of course, it alleviated my pain, but the euphoria is just, it's so incredible. But yeah, it's bad for you. Another one is Dilaudid. I don't know if they still prescribe that, but it's not good for you. Cadillac Key said, I was high when I graduated from Dairy. I don't think I can continue the show. I have no voice left. Andrew, can we just play a best of for the last hour? Because I literally can't talk. This is ridiculous. Like, I got to go home. All right. Because this is just stupid at this point. Like, what am I even doing? Why'd I even come back to work? I know why.
Because you love working, Sherwin.
I do love working. So, Zach, you're good. You don't even have to produce my... I can't talk.
I know. I don't know. Yeah.
This morning when I did my ABCs, I was fine.
You sounded so bad this morning. I was listening to you when I woke up, and I'm like, I don't know why he showed up today.
You're a racist. Why would you? I didn't sound that bad.
You sounded horrible. I'm not going to lie.
Worse today than yesterday?
Yes.
So what are
the 74 producers going to do now for the show?
That's your problem. Can I get through the hour? No, I can't. What do you think? No? I think I should go home.
I think you should power through.
I don't trust you. You said that with a smile on your face.
You got 3 minutes to think about it.
The Truth with Sherwin might be right back.
1017 The Truth is proud to partner with the Marcus Performing Arts Center to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. live from Eline Hall. On Monday, January 19th at 4 p.m., join us for the 42nd annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration as culture, community, and conversation come together at one of Milwaukee's most iconic stages. Be a part of a powerful day honoring Dr. King's vision with the award-winning 1017 The Truth live from the Marcus Performing Arts Center.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
Been listening to you guys for probably a month. It's some change now, and this is one of my favorite radio shows. And I'm 24, so I used to think talk shows was like an old head thing, and y'all got me hooked.
Welcome to Truth Nation. We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Roskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser.
I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data, to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't. It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkmylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. Locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Zach gave me this is actually really good. What is this? It's a cough drop lozenge, a throat lozenges. No, I don't know if I'm gonna stay here for the whole hour. Hang on a second, get some water. I feel fine though. Like I'm not sick. I had a bad cough. I had a sore throat. I ain't got none of that no more. I just got this raspy voice. Somebody yesterday said my voice sounds sexy. It's raspy and sexy. You know what Rhea told me? I hope she's not listening. She told me she considered selling feet pics. What? Apparently, somebody told her that she had cute feet. Why is it that when a woman has cute feet, somebody always suggests she should sell foot pics? Who are the men that buy those? If you're going to buy a picture from a woman, why feet? I don't understand foot fetish guys. Andrew, are you a foot fetish guy? If you were, don't admit it in front of me. What about you?
I have friends who are, though. They're sick individuals, Sherwin.
Like a woman whose feet are like cute and her toenails are painted. Oh, like that's cute. It's just a part of her overall like exhibition of her beauty. But I don't like want dirty socks. Like some dudes want worn socks. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't just want
I have
pictures.
a friend that does that.
Zach, you got a friend that likes dirty socks?
No, that sells them.
Yes, I hope it's a girl.
Yes.
That's so. I don't want to kink shame. Actually, yeah, I do. Some kinks.
I think it's important to kink shame.
So this is not the first time that I've talked about this. Oh yeah, I'm still going to be talking about the crack epidemic. Let me see if I can get through a couple of segments, y'all, because I would like to complete the show. Actually, my voice it feels a little better.
It sounds a little better.
Thank you. With this thing, what is this now? This tastes like candy, Zach.
It's a honey like lozenger thing.
That's stuck to my teeth. It's pretty good. Let me drink me some water. I feel bad for you if you're like listening to me in headphones because I'm sure my voice is probably annoying. Yesterday, my voice was terrible too. I usually go back and listen to my shows. I didn't want to listen to yesterday's show because hearing my voice would have annoyed me. But like 1 million people watched yesterday's show. It was mostly because of Denise. You know, here's what we need here at 1017 The Truth. We need a black woman host by herself with no stupid men co-hosting. We need a black, like a 3-hour black woman, which we have never had.
With a woman producer?
I mean, anybody could produce it. But we need a black, an opinionated, we need Denise. Well, Denise wouldn't do it. A black woman, because I think the majority of people that listen to Black Talk Radio are black women. And why do y'all listen to men? You know what I mean? I mean, because, you listen to us because we're right. But, I mean, wouldn't you rather want to hear a black woman that sees the world the way you do? Right? What if we gave Liz Brown a show? Does Liz Brown still do Tori's show?
Yeah.
Every day. From 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Every single day?
Yeah, she hops on vMix and they split the screen and people are able to see her on YouTube.
Can I broadcast through vMix? Like can I broadcast from home?
Yeah.
I need to see something real quick. So you're telling me, so what do they talk about? Just whatever Liz wants to discuss that day, or does Liz talk about whatever Tori's topic is, or is she just like an addition to his?
Yeah, no, she comments on whatever Tori talked about or whatever videos Tori played, and she comments on his takes.
Oh, okay. Here, let me see something real quick. Just want to take a look. Let me see.
But it never benefited us. It never benefited us. You got two or three tokens. However, when you look at the wider broad,
she looks great.
Inside
That's one thing I'll say about Liz. Liz is a looker. Hey,
absolutely.
I hate when they used to bring up all of these talking points, these racial talking points.
All right, I'm gonna leave Tori alone. I think Tori gets offended. He went to cover the first Republican debate. The Republicans, I don't know if you guys remember this, there was a pretty crowded field of Republicans seeking to take the nomination from Trump in 2024. So a bunch of Republicans. Marco Rubio was running, Doug Burgum was running. There's a bunch of Republicans that were, I think Ted Cruz might have been in the race, a few others. And so they had their first debate in Milwaukee. This was in August of 2023. And it was at the Fiserv Forum. In fact, it might have been 2 days. Was it 2 days, or was that the Democrats that did a 2-day debate? Well, anyways, Dr. Ken and I walked together from our studios here at the 3rd Street Market Hall to the Fiserv Forum. It's not a very long walk. It's maybe about a half a mile. But we were covering live the first Republican presidential debate. And as you can imagine, because we cut through the Deer District, there was a lot of security, lots and lots of Milwaukee police just in the vicinity around the Fiserv Forum, all throughout the Deer District, providing security for the Republican debate that was in August of 2023. Also recall, Donald Trump didn't attend any of the debates. He didn't have to. That's gangster. To want your party's nomination and to opt not to answer any questions or provide your policy points on all the issues, that I'm going to give Trump that. That's cold-blooded. To not debate, and he still got the nomination and got the support of the people that were trying to take the nomination from him, like that's gangster right there. But as I'm walking over with Dr. Ken to the Fiserv Forum from the 3rd Street Market Hall, I swear to you, like every cop, every Milwaukee police officer knew him. And they all shook his hand. They all were very accommodating to him. So look, I get it. Because I think toward the end of his career, he trained police. And to that extent, I can understand why he would have a lot of pride when he sees someone who's still wearing the badge and uniform, someone that he trained. That does not mean that I and others like me think that policing is at a level that it should be. Let's talk to. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing? Lisa, should I go home or should I finish the show?
Oh, sweetheart, you finished the show. That you'll be all right. It actually makes your throat stronger. You know, I wouldn't know a lot about that. Keeping your throat healthy.
Hold on, Lisa.
And all of that.
Hold on, throat goat.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you standing on business.
You got a strong throat?
Well, you know what? You know what? My vocals. When your vocals are strong, when you can't completely talk at all. When it's more like, okay, stop. That means you're gonna damage them. So you gotta stop. Right now, you're in beginner stage, so you'll be all right.
Oh, I don't want to damage my vocal cords, Lisa, because I make money off of these vocal cords.
Right. So until you start sounding like that, then that's when you stop. Like the lozenges, those work, believe it or not. You know, I used to hit a 7-octave note, and when I couldn't hit that note, when something was coming on, like a cold or something, I would hit a couple of those lozenges. At least it got me through that note. and then I'm good.
Well, whatever
But
Zach
yeah,
gave me
clear it
is
up and
working
everything.
pretty good because my voice feels a little bit better. I don't know.
I forgot the name, but it's in a white package. I forgot the name of it, but I think I know which one.
Cocaine?
They come in different flavors.
Okay.
But they are good.
Okay.
They're like candy. Yeah, you can eat them like candy. But what I was going to say is about the drug epidemic. People, I heard, people on the radio say that I'm a controlling person. You know what I am? You have to control your life in order to not let bull crap and BS in your life. You have to control it. I'm a happy person. I'm going to keep it that way. You ain't got to be in my life. I don't care if you are or not. I roll by myself, and I do roll by myself, and I'm still happy.
I know you roll by yourself because you're in a wheelchair.
And look, I'm working on my leg now. I'm working on it. They're going to give me a new leg. So I'm working on that now. So
Lisa, you've been talking about that leg for 2 years. Where that leg at?
And, they've been adjusting it. And, I think I got a couple of young ladies that are just going to do a good job at it. I think I got a couple of ladies. But they keep trying until it's the way that, you feel it's right because I can't trust it. I dream about going back to the gym and leg pressing up to 560 again. And you talking about pain, but I don't take no
Lisa,
drugs.
why in the hell are you leg pressing 560 with one leg?
Well, because I used to press 560 with both legs. At least let me get somewhere there. At least let me get my muscle, because he's being in his wheelchair and being in the house all day, even though there's nothing to look at or do in Milwaukee, it's boring. You get to lay there all day, and, you'll be in this wheelchair. Okay, I don't want to be in a wheelchair anymore. I want to go and walk. I used to walk 6 miles a day, along with the working out and everything. That's how active I was. In Minnesota, that's all they do is exercise. Oh, you get addicted to it. Get addicted to something that's positive.
No, don't get addicted to anything. Addiction is bad. I just want you to get your leg adjusted.
I do too, so I can start exercising and I can start back walking. That's all I want to do. If I can't press 560, at least let me press 250. At least let me press with my leg. At least let me press my right leg and press. If my left leg can only do so much, I just got to build the right leg because the left leg, I don't have a left leg. So my right leg is, my dominant leg.
That's what it sounds like when they adjust your leg?
What? No, but it's when I just went in, it sounded like I had a spur on the back of my shoe. I thought I was a cowgirl. Click, 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 click. Leg coming all out the socket. I'm like, what the hell? I'm walking in, my leg come out. We can't be doing this now. No. Y'all say I can't fall. Well, I can't fall, so we're not going to be trying to fall at all. But anyway, I believe people that are on these drugs, because I heard kids, my niece, I'm like, why? Because it's a feeling. They down, they're sad, they're depressed, they smoke marijuana to make them feel better. Why can't you make your own self feel better? Shut up, Sherwin. Why can't you see the sun for what the sun is? Why can't you see that you're breathing and you're in good health and you're in good, whatever it may be? Why can't your mind believe these things? Why does your mind always have to be on the negative things?
Lisa, it's not that simple.
Why do you set your mind
Addiction
up
sometimes is genetic, it's chemical. We can't, for those that are not addicted, we don't know what it's like. First of all, addiction comes from a child's inability to self-soothe, and drugs and substances are an artificial way to soothe themselves, and there's something that is rooted deep in childhood that if you haven't had those kinds of traumas, you wouldn't be able to understand. I know that the grief that I've been going through after the passage of my father, there was a point in time where I would have did anything to ease the pain. Now, I did not. But I can understand people that live through that kind of mental turmoil every single day, reaching for a substance. And the most common substance, quite honestly, is alcohol. I realized quickly when you are grieving the loss of a loved one, alcohol don't help. It's the opposite effect. Trust me.
I have grieved the worst thing in my life, and that's the loss of a child. Not a child, a newborn child. Something that you wanted more than life itself.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm in my own way of still grieving because I'm kind of getting around to even mentioning and talking about it. People don't even know I had a child.
I didn't know. I'm sorry that you lost your child.
Well,
You want another one?
So, but I did not turn towards drugs. I just refused to have another child, and that's the way I handled my pain, because I know mentally I would not been able to handle it. I knew that, so that's why I chose not to go that direction. And I lost, of course, a fiance because he's been wanting children by me, and I lost it. I lost love. I lost a child. I lost my parents. I lost a brother. I lost people that I love. And yes, drugs never crossed my mind. I lost.
You ever tried them?
I tried to get depressed.
You never smoked a joint?
I tried to smoke a joint once, and my girlfriend said no because they said your voice. No, you a singer. You can't lose your voice.
Well, did you like the way it felt? Did it feel good?
I don't know. No, because the smell is awful. It makes me go to the bathroom, and that ain't cool. I don't like to go to the bathroom.
Go number one and go number two.
Cigarette smoke. Number two. Yeah, it get for some reason. Now the difference is with smoke cigarette. It'll hurt my head when it goes to my nostrils. It'll hurt my head. It'll travel all the way down to my stomach, and then that's when it hit me.
Oh, it may go boo boo.
And marijuana.
I ain't never heard of somebody having to go boo boo because they smoke a little weed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm thankful my father stopped smoking around me because my mother was like, she can't handle it.
Because she got to go boo boo.
A car can come past me.
Yeah.
Huh?
Because smelling that weed smoke make you go boo boo.
It'll make me go boo boo. Hey, like roses, the smell of it. But yeah, I understand. Everybody have a good, like when I was in the hospital when they cut my leg off. You remember I told you when they cut my leg off, they gave me all dope. And I could have swore somebody was on my window on the 11th floor. They was trying to break into my room. Then a man next door, because I was talking to the nurse, said, he's scared of needles? Oh, my God. I would go in there and pop him. And I thought he was coming to beat me up. And I grabbed the only thing that was around was that little plastic phone because he was coming through my bedroom. Why not about Lisa? No. That's how, look, when I'm dreaming about Garfield, no. I'm seeing different colors. They say you heard whatever. It's too much.
That actually sounds really nice. So you've never done acid or mushrooms or cocaine? You never done none of that?
They gave me the doctors gave me their drugs. Even when they sent me home with Oxycontin, Oxycodone, whatever it was, I didn't take those. Nope.
Morphine is probably the best.
I take the pain.
Morphine feels like an orgasm.
I don't want to know. Well, look, I tell you what.
Tell me what.
What do they give you when they put you to sleep? Now, that's a damn good drug. Ooh, it'll take you through. Well, you don't even know. You wake up and be like, hey. That's how I woke up every surgery. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, Miss Lisa. Hey, good to see y'all. And I just had my 19th surgery. And I got to go through one more. Possibly one more after that, maybe a kidney, whatever. But, hey, them drugs are good for what they're used for. But getting addicted, no.
All right, Lisa, I wish I could talk to you about drugs all day, but I have to take a break. And Al is on hold.
I don't want to talk about drugs. We'll change conversations. I wouldn't want to talk about drugs all day. I'm a positive person. So that wouldn't even be anything we would talk about.
You just spent the last 10 minutes talking about drugs.
Well, because that's the topic. Duh.
All right, well, I gotta go now.
You get better and rest your voice. If you feel you get your butt back to work on Monday. You ain't got to do it.
No, Monday is King Day. I'm not working on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh.
Y'all about to get a recorded show. Which recorded show y'all want to hear? You want to hear something from a long time ago or something recent?
You do you, player.
Oh, all right then.
Do the highest rated one, I guess.
All of them are highest rated.
Oh,
bye, Lisa.
Mighty Mo.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, then bye-bye. What was that even?
It says Kung Fu Lisa.
Oh, that was her when she did that. She said she'd karate chop somebody with her left arm and kick him with her good leg. Do it one more time. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. coming with straight truth.
We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. 17thetruth.com.
You guys want to talk about crack? I got a crack story. Do people still smoke crack?
Yes, they do. Well, I don't know about smoking it, but people sniff it.
Powder cocaine is never going out of style. Our collective memory of the crack epidemic is faulty. So, like, there was an era, right? So, a lot of hip-hop music, a lot of gangster rap involved talking about selling drugs, okay? And then there was, like, movies that came out, like New Jack City, one of the best ever crack era movies ever. Nino Brown, one of the best villains ever. Such a good movie. But I think because there was art that was created during the crack epidemic, we now think, with hindsight being 2020, y'all make it seem like everybody was smoking crack. No, the hell, everybody was not. In fact, if you wanted to find a crackhead, you had to do a little bit of searching. They weren't just everywhere. People weren't walking around like zombies. We blew it out of proportion, and we also attribute some things that are still amiss in the black community to the crack epidemic. When I did my story a couple months ago about crack babies, because y'all think like, oh, these crack babies are the ones that are growing up stealing cars. Do you know that when a child is born addicted to crack, that they're fine by the time they're like 8 months old? Like by the time that child started school, they had no measurable difference in learning ability or IQ. So even the fallacy of the crack baby still impacts people to this day because they think, oh, well, all these kids were crack babies. You know where that whole crack baby thing came from? propaganda to shame black women who were addicted when they were pregnant. The whole crack baby thing, those babies were fine sometimes at 6 months, but we made it seem like, oh, this person is 32 years old and they were a crack baby. No, they might be an idiot, but they're not an idiot because their mother smoked crack. Let's talk to Al. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Usually, I know they used to call them ADHD babies or crazy check babies because, you know, by the time they was growing up, the brain used to skip the stairs. Also, I wanted to let you know, if they're not Muslim and they smell like gas station incense, 9 out of 10, they're doing crack.
What?
Sometimes if they're missing their 2 middle teeth on the top and the bottom, they probably was smoking that straight shooter or that crack pipe where they was putting the SOS pad and the steel wool in there. That's why a lot of SOS pads be missing from the kitchen, because they take that pipe and hide it up under the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink, and you can't really, you know, find it. So everything is missing. And I'm not making no comment about the Muslims, but, you know, Muslims use a lot of fruits, berries, and oils. So a lot of times if they're, gas station incense, you know, if they're a regular person and they look like they ain't slept in 7 whole days, 7 whole nights, they probably doing crack, because it strips the youth of them, make them look like they've been dragged in gravel and dirt, pulled by a pickup truck. And if they're moving their lips like 20, 30 miles an hour per minute, they probably just did heroin, okay? And if their eyes as big as catfish and they grunt their teeth, they just got high. Your healing from addiction should be you. And I say let your personality and your integrity be your addiction. And if I was you, Mr. Hughes, I think you should just leave. On the way home, pick you up a gallon of water, some tea, and some lemons, and make sure you stop at Walgreens or CVS and get you an extra large Walgreens fleet, and make sure you take off the plastic top. So you push that fleet up right up your rear end, and what that's going to do is going to pull all that cold out of you. Now, you might be dehydrated, you know what I mean, and your legs probably going to go to sleep, but you'll feel so much better. You see, you're so kinked up, you know, your body trying to pull it, you know, trying to work it. You take that good old fleet extra large, you stick it up there and pour that saline, the solution now, it'll pull everything out of you.
What is happening?
Run 100 miles an hour within 2 hours. So that was good. So make sure you get the Walgreens fleet with extra solution.
What is a fleet? Okay? I don't know what that is.
It's like a douche, and what it makes you boo boo. You know, I see you're sick. You know your body go. Okay, have a good one. Okay, bye bye. Oh, so what it does is it pulls everything out of you. You know, and when it pulls everything out of you, it's going to pull that cold out of you. And then you drink the water that put the fluids back, because you're going to be highly dehydrated. And then the hyssop tea, the ginseng tea, will nurse your throat, and you'll be able to run 100 miles an hour. You know, that's old school, you know, that's old school right there. Don't do the castor oil, but, yeah, just get you the good Walgreens fleet. Or if you're wearing a bad outfit, because, you know, some people don't clean all the way, they suggest them to use that, so just in case the back end won't look like a Mississippi dirt road. Okay, y'all have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That was the most sound medical advice. He wants me to give myself an enema. Any other remedies? Any other anally administered remedies you guys want to recommend?
It looks like the thing that you put up your nose when you're congested.
He didn't say nose. Maybe he's putting the fleet in the wrong orifice. Because whatever he described, I don't want that for myself. Like, I don't want you can run 100 miles an hour. I don't want to run 100 miles an hour. I don't want to drive 100 miles an hour. The crack epidemic dramatically increased crime and social harm, but did not cause anywhere near the number of overdose deaths seen in the opioid crisis. Overdose data for that era is much lower than today's crisis because cocaine is less lethal than opioids, and reporting trends were different in the 80s and 90s than they are now. Opioid overdoses have caused vastly more deaths than were attributable to the crack epidemic. From 1999 to 2021, so a 3-year span, 645,000 overdose deaths were recorded, including more recent years, 2024 and 2025. Total opioid-related deaths exceeded 1 million. More than 1 million Americans have died from drug overdoses, mostly opioids rather, in the past 2 decades. And then this article says, winter opioid crisis claimed more lives than the crack epidemic. I'll continue talking about the details of the opioid crisis and the crack epidemic on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. My love for animals began when I was 5 years old. That sparked a lifelong commitment to speak up for animals who can't speak for themselves. Elvis and I supported American Humane Society because your compassion can change a life. American Humane Society strengthens the bond between humans and animals. Please visit AmericanHumane.org to learn more. Thank you.
Truth Nation, it's time once again to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community at the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards, happening Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 inside the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. This award show will honor the unsung heroes who show up, give back, and make a positive impact in our community every single day. We are rolling out the red carpet and showing love to those who truly deserve it. Buy your tickets now by visiting 1017thetruthAwards.com. Tickets are just $20, which includes free food and exclusive Truth giveaways. Join the 1017 The Truth team for an unforgettable night of entertainment, inspiration, and community pride at the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 in Milwaukee. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Milwaukee College Prep, Cousin Subs, Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah, no, we were lacing our marijuana with base.
With base.
Yeah. It wasn't. We didn't want no crack. We didn't no crack stuff. We weren't buying like $20 jumbles. Yeah. We were paying money.
Yeah.
We were buying like an ounce and ounces. We would have our shit.
Yeah.
For like.
But you were freebasing cocaine.
Basically.
Yeah.
And our weed.
And weed. And
we weren't doing a glass. We weren't doing like pipe smoking.
Yeah.
We didn't get that far. No.
You did not.
No. Oh no.
So what are you smoking with? How do you?
You put it in your marijuana. Oprah. Okay. Go with me here.
Okay, go. I'm going.
She's high during this interview.
You put it in your marijuana, you lace it, you roll it up, and you smoke it, and your weed. It's just another form. It's like almost like heroin and cocaine speedballing, but you level it off with the marijuana. Okay.
So your drug of choice was weed combined with cocaine.
Rock cocaine.
With rock cocaine.
Yes.
Oh, she's high in this interview. Oh, poor Whitney Houston. She loved the crack. Speedballing, that'll kill you. I'm sure some of you are familiar, for those of you who are not. So heroin is a depressant. It slows you down. It gives you this dream-like, euphoric state. Everything moves in slow motion. You pay attention to all the little details. No, I've never done heroin before, but I know plenty of people that have. Cocaine is a stimulant. It picks you up. You have a bunch of energy. You talk too much. You feel like you're Superman. You see somebody trying to lift up the back of a 1964 Chevy Malibu, they're probably on cocaine because they're going to try and pick the car up with their bare hands. So when the heroin has you slowed down and you want to pick yourself back up again, you do a little cocaine. The combination of those two drugs is incredibly dangerous and deadly. So please, don't do drugs unless you have to. And then be careful. But don't do them unless it's necessary. But we hope it's not necessary. Economic costs, the crack epidemic. While there were costs associated with crime, policing, and lost productivity, comprehensive dollar estimates are not standardized in the way modern opioid cost studies are. However, the economic cost was nowhere near the scale of the opioid crisis. Multiple large economic analyses place the U.S. cost in the hundreds of billions to up to $1 trillion. Nearly $1.5 trillion in 2020 alone, driven by lost productivity, health care, and criminal justice costs associated with the opioid crisis. So the comparison isn't even real. The opioid crisis, which is still going on right now, cost infinitely more than the crack epidemic, but for some reason, we still use the impact of the crack epidemic to point to modern negative social indicators, and I think that factually that's wrong. We blew it out of proportion. Now, it had a profound impact at the time, but nothing like the opioid crisis. A White House 2025 estimate put the total cost at $2.7 trillion in 2023 when factoring in quality of life, deaths, health care, and lost productivity to the opioid crisis. I don't know why it says winner. Winner! Opioid crisis has cost more tax dollars and economic output. There my voice goes again. Let me see. Let me get a sip of water. Now, I got 20 minutes left. I might as well just ride it out. Prison construction and incarceration. Uh-oh. This is where the crack epidemic might win. The federal and state response involved a punitive law and order approach to crack. The 100-to-1 crack versus powder cocaine sentencing disparity and mandatory minimums led to a massive surge in incarceration, especially of African Americans. By the late 1980s, incarceration rates soared. The prison population grew dramatically, with drug arrests a key driver. Oh, man. 1 in 4 black men ages 20 to 29 was in prison, on probation, or on parole by 1989. The opioid crisis had also contributed to incarceration, but the policy emphasis has shifted toward treatment and public health rather than exclusively punitive approaches. I wonder if some of the companies that made the hydrocodone, the oxycodone, and the Oxycontin also made the Suboxone and the methadone. Could you imagine the company that made the pills that people got addicted to and then also made the pills and the medications that people use to ease their addiction?
I think they did make it.
That is crazy. And the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma was found like solely liable for the whole epidemic. Can you imagine this for a second? One family is responsible for trillions of dollars of economic impact and costs and hundreds of thousands of lives lost, and the only thing they got was a $4 billion fine, and they never paid it. Think about that for a second. A single family is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths, trillions of dollars of economic impact, and all they got was a $4 billion fine that they never paid.
Someone just called and said Hitler invented methadone because his people were on heroin.
No, his people were on amphetamines, but so were U.S. soldiers. Some of that is propaganda, too. So it's like a precursor to Adderall. So they gave soldiers during World War II, American soldiers, too, were given like an analog of what is considered like Adderall because it keeps you focused. But yeah, Hitler, it was methamphetamine, a version of methamphetamine. Hitler's soldiers used it, but they gave it to American GIs as well. Because, you know,
pain.
You gotta, no, it's not for pain. It's like they were junkies, like they were alert. Like you've never, I shouldn't ask you, Zach. They needed to stay awake because if you're getting shot at, you can't get sleepy. You know what I mean? Like if the Nazis are shooting at you, you can't be like, hey, let me get this nap real quick. So they gave them.
Got to keep that head on a swivel.
Methamphetamines to keep them awake. American soldiers were given it to. And then it was commercialized and prescribed for what we used to call ADD. Now it's ADHD. But I think that's a big scam, too. All right. Winter, crack epidemic. Policies built more prisons and drove harsher incarceration. Family and community destruction. Which one wins? The warp speed spread of crack in urban areas deeply burdened families and communities, particularly black neighborhoods. Studies show elevated homicides and social instability long after crack's peak, with crime and gun violence effects persisting for decades afterwards. Disproportionate sentencing tore apart a generation of young black men and skewed family structures and economic prospects. Opioid crisis. The opioid epidemic has also devastated families across all racial and regional groups due to overdose deaths, addiction, and economic strain. Countless children have been orphaned or placed in foster care due to parental overdose, abandonment, and communities, especially in Appalachia and rural areas, have faced severe social breakdown. However, the opioid crisis cuts across more socioeconomic groups than crack did. For both, each crisis severely harmed families, but in different ways. Crack primarily socially and community fragmentation and incarceration. Opioid, more death and addiction from all demographics. Take a break, come back, talk to Gene on the other side. Zach, give me another one of them things.
I looked if I had, that was my last one. I got cough drops and the little caramel Welcher things that old people be eating.
Oh, I love those. Those are just delicious.
Oh, well, look it.
Jean just hung up, so I guess we're not talking to her.
She wanted to tell you to play a certain best of. Something about like when you were playing videos.
Playing videos?
Yeah.
Do people know that when we do best of, it's just audio? So the videos that we were playing, people won't be able to see them.
Yeah, so I was confused. That's why I just put her on hold to talk to you.
Wait a second. Why don't we do best? Can we play old shows on YouTube?
See, now, one of our fallen soldiers, R.I.P. to, Benjamin, he had an idea to do something like that, to have whatever audio we pick for the best of, to have that YouTube video play.
Why don't we do that?
It's a lot of work, Sherwin.
All right. Well,
because then we would have to set up another live stream.
Okay.
And we technically wouldn't be live. So we would have to just like repost it, maybe.
All right. Well, it's not my problem. I'm not going to be here. So I'm not here tomorrow, everybody, because I got to fix my voice. And I'm not here on Monday either. I don't even really work here very much. I've been off a lot over the past few weeks. I actually don't mind it. I don't mind taking time off. 2026 is going to be my year of self-care. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't feel like coming to work, y'all about to hear a rerun. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers look to make it 2 wins in a row as they welcome the Oakland University Grizzlies to the UWM Panther Arena.
Pippa White on a drive and a pass back to the wing. Dixon darts, kicks, Franklin for 3. Yes! Dixon step back. 3 ball is good. Josh Dixon.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock. The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 101.7 The Truth. This Friday night, we have a City Conference matchup as the Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks travel to take on the Audubon Tech Cardinals. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Brittany, what is wrong with you? Brittany said a good joint definitely makes you have to poop. What kind of weed are you smoking? Why are y'all smoking laxative weed? What is wrong with people? I think most of y'all are high right now, actually. Kelvin says, hey, Sherwin, you should watch a TV series called Dope Sick. I saw it. It's really good. It's about exactly what happened. I felt bad for these people that go into work in the coal mines and they had a lot of pain. And these pharmaceutical reps were telling these doctors, like, hey, there's this new non-addictive painkiller that will be a godsend for all of these people who were doing this back-breaking labor in the coal mines. And the doctors were told that the medication wasn't addictive, but they come to find out the doctors saw their patients becoming addicted right before their eyes. And so what Purdue Pharma was doing was making higher and higher and higher dosages and higher milligrams, exacerbating the addiction. There was a particular pharmacy, because I've done a bunch of stories on the opioid crisis over the years. They were pushing out something like, it was like 2,000. It was a particular pharmacy that people would go to that had an addiction. There'd be a line around the block. It was a small little pharmacy. And that pharmacy pushed out like millions of pills in a year in a really small town. They said they had something like 2,000 opioid pills per resident. That's how much this pharmacy kept on hand. And what I think makes the opioid crisis more sinister is because doctors and pharmaceutical reps were in on it. And I don't know if you guys know what kind of money pharmaceutical reps get when they go visit a doctor, because there's always a new drug being developed. And so here's what's crazy. Sometimes the doctors will be like, I don't care what this drug does. I'm not prescribing this to my patients. That's how you know you got a good doctor. Because some of these doctors, they get kickbacks. Let's say Merck comes up with a new drug. And it's, I don't know, it cures fatness, headaches, bags under your eyes, and limp penises, right? It's a brand new drug. It does all the stuff. If a doctor agrees to prescribe this new drug, the pharmaceutical company will give the doctor like a percentage or a commission for prescribing the new drug. And some doctors weren't going to be involved in that because I think at the end of the day, it's unethical. Because pharmaceutical companies are here to make profit and to not cure disease, but just treat the symptoms while leaving the disease intact. Because if you cure people, they don't need medicine. But we'll have another discussion about that back when my voice is better next week sometime. So now what you see in the last 20 years is the pharmaceutical companies aren't going through the doctors anymore. They're advertising directly to us. I know you've seen them. Middle-aged white couple going for a walk on the beach. Hi, I'm John Smith, and my quality of life greatly improved when I took Carpaxcoline. Do you have symptoms of being tired, somewhat irritable, thirsty on a hot day? Are you a little bit fat? Do you need to take a nap right now? You may have this condition called Carpaxcoline, and Carpaxcoline will help you. Talk to your doctor about prescribing you Carpaxcoline. So what we do is we see the damn commercial that has symptoms of, do you get headaches? Do you sometimes have an itchy back? Do you just want to take a nap sometimes? Do you get hungry? And if you say yes to any of these, talk to your doctor about Carpaxcoline. So what do? We take our stupid asses to the doctor and say, doctor, I saw a commercial. I think I need Carpaxcoline. And then get mad at our doctor when the doctor doesn't prescribe Carpaxcoline, because our doctor knows that if that doctor doesn't prescribe us Carpaxcoline, we'll go to another doctor that will. So pharmaceutical companies now are spending more money on advertising and marketing than they do on research and development, and it's sinister. The American healthcare system is one that, I don't know, sometimes I think it does more harm than good. What I'm most concerned about is the inconsistency of care. Depends on the hospital, depends on the doctor, depends on the staff, depends on the nurses. You may get top quality care with excellent bedside manners, and then there's other instances where it seems like they want you to die. At some point when I'm a little bit more well-adjusted, I will explain to you what me and my family witnessed as my father was taken from us with cancer. It was, I don't have words to describe it. What haunts me now is that my father knew he was going to die, but used very subtle terms in explaining it to his family. He was much more direct with my mother. He said in the fall, probably in October, he didn't think he was going to make it until the end of the year, which she dismissed. I remember having a conversation with him before he was admitted to the hospital. He's like, Sherwin, I think I'm going to drop the insurance on my truck. And I'm thinking to myself, why in the hell would you do that? He's like, well, I'm not going to be driving anymore. And I remember my father was not hospitalized. He was slated to start his cancer treatment in January. He didn't even make it in January. He knew that he was dying then. He was like, I think I'm going to. And he was just very relaxed about it. I think I'm going to sell my truck because I'm not going to be driving anymore. The only thing that I could think of is, why are you going to make my mother drive you everywhere you have to go? He was actually admitting and saying, that he knew he wasn't going to be around. So those conversations that I had with him, now that I look back, he was in a very subtle way saying that he was not going to make it. And so when he was admitted into the hospital, we clearly are heavily reliant on the doctors and the specialists and the nurses. And some nurses were fantastic. Some I thought my mother was going to physically fight. Like I thought Emma was going to punch Bonnie in her face. Bonnie was one of my father's main nurses. And my mother and Bonnie just were like Tupac and Biggie. They beefed. They did. But the inconsistency of the healthcare system should rise to a level of concern for all of us. And I can't just say, oh, because my dad was black. I can't, because there were some white staff that treated my father as well as any of us would have treated him. They were attentive. They were sensitive. They would spend time with us if we had questions. And then there were some that just didn't seem to care. Now, I also know that we have a pretty significant shortage in healthcare, and we're real quick to tell our young people, oh, go be a roofer, go fix HVAC, go be a plumber. Why aren't we telling more of our people to go into the medical field? I think I know why. It's because we, for some reason, think that the trades are easy. Do you know how much damn math you need to know to be an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter or all of those trades? And in some cases, you might need to know more math in the trades than you do in some medical fields. We'll have that discussion at some point in time. I am not here tomorrow. Don't expect me. I am not here on Monday. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located.